Good afternoon and welcome to our Twitch TV live stream. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and it's my pleasure to be here. Glad that you're here. All right, so now let's keep on moving on with Trending Thursday. It's all about what's moving in the market, what's going on in the market, what stocks are being talked about in the market. It's a great place to stay on top of news on stocks and what's going on with specific stocks. They could be great trading opportunities, and as long as you pay attention to the graphs, you're going to have an opportunity to look at these stocks that are trending, these companies that are trending, to get an idea if the news is really moving them to the point where you want to invest in them, or maybe to stay away from them. All right, that it can work both ways. So we always like to start off with the market timing graph. Let's go see, let's start with the home page first. On the home page within the VectorVest software, and if you're not a subscriber to the software, this is what you see on the home page every day. So I can open it up and I can see with today's activity, the market is up nicely today. All of the major indices are up in excess of 1%, with the NASDAQ leading the charge, up almost 2% today, which is a beautiful thing. Now, keeping that in mind, is today the day to buy stocks? It could be, but you need to be a trader in order to do that. Even from a swing trade or a long-term perspective, the market is not conducive to longer-term holdings as of right now. We can see that our market timing gauge is smack dab in the middle of the yellow. The color guard, which you'll learn more about as a subscriber to the software, it's got a lot of yellow. Learn to use it like a traffic light. More yellow than anything. This is still a time to be cautious in the market. And if you're not a subscriber, this is the kind of information that keeps you safe and keeps you on the right side of the market at all times. People will tell you, hey, go buy stocks now, or hey, this is not a good time to buy stocks. But with VectorVest, you have at your fingertips the idea of knowing when to buy stocks and when not to buy stocks. And that's what the color guard is designed to do. Is it okay to buy stocks? Right now, we're telling you it's a time to be cautious in the market. Well, why are you telling me to be cautious when the market is up as big as it is today? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Let's take a look at what the market is truly doing on a graph. And I'm going to pull up the market timing graph as well. This is the movement of an indicator called the VectorVest Composite. The VectorVest Composite tracks all of the stocks that we have in the market, in the software, and it gives you an indexed arithmetic average of all of those stocks, and we're tracking that movement in candlesticks, and you're looking at it over the last 1 year. I need the graph that gives me, good. I'm looking at a graph over the last 1 year. This is the movement of the market. We feel that it tracks the market in a lot better depth because we're looking at the movement of 8,300 stocks. All right. I'm going to zoom this in to a 3-month graph. That gives us a feel of what's going on. Red candles mean a down day. Green open candles mean an up day. Where is the market right now? We are definitely in a ranged bound market between a level of resistance sitting at $47.33 and a level of support sitting at $45.81. Let me delete that. And the cool thing about the VectorVest software is our support and resistance will draw the lines automatically for you. So I can see why we call this market a volatile market. Down one day, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. A lot of movement, but still within a range. Who makes money in this market? Traders. Traders like Rhode Island, who does a lot of options and plays the volatility of the market, is killing it right now, because this is more of a trader's market. This right here is called a trending market. This right here is called a trending market, but to the downside. And when we're moving sideways, this is called a range market or a trader's market. And in a trader's market, for the most part, you're going to find a lot of volatility in there. I'm going to go back and put on a 1-year graph. And the last time we had a little bit of a range-bound market was right here, back in the March-April time period. Look at that. Market going up, down, and in a range. And it's tough as a longer-term investor to make money in a range-bound market. Now, when the market's moving up, we'll let you know. We have market timing signals that tell you, hey, the market's up. I'm going to show you something right here. As the market broke out of the range and started moving up, I'm going to put on the fastest signal we have called the primary wave. The primary wave issued an up call. Let me show that to you. Coming off of this bottom in the range, gave you an up call on 3/29 of 2019. Was that a great opportunity to make money in the market? Then as the market broke through that range, a lot of downness was coming in. And what happened? Looking at that down call, what did the market do? It went down precipitously and found another level of support. Our market timing calls are designed to keep you on the right side of the market at all times. For anyone who doesn't believe in market timing, our market timing does not predict which way the market is going to go. We follow the trend of the market, and with 7 different market timing calls, we have a market timing call that is ideally suited to how you invest in the market, whether you're an aggressive trader or a longer-term investor, to make money in the market and to stay on the right side of the market at all given times. So keeping all of that in mind, our market timing graph is where you should always start to see what's going on in the market. Let's go put this back on the 3-month graph. Look at this call. Up, down, up, down, up, down, back and forth, which is also reminiscent of a sideways moving or a volatile market or a trader's market. So even our market timing calls will keep you in tune with, hey, the market is moving sideways. So with all of that being said, let's get into what stocks are trending for Trending Thursday. You know, that would be good if we had a theme song right there. Trending Thursday. All right, so now that that's been done, all right, we could just use that. Now let's get into what's trending on Trending Thursday. That was fun. We need to do more of that. We got to do that when we move to YouTube. That was fun. Trending Thursday, day. All right, got to put on the monster truck sound. And yes, I know that some of you are in the background chuckling. All right, first thing we want to talk about is what's going on in the market. What's moving the markets? Today, the stocks move higher, broadly higher. Stocks move broadly higher on hopes for China trade talks. Folks, you cannot get past Trending Thursday without talking about what's moving the market most recently, and it's the news about the talks between the U.S. and China on tariffs. So, hopes for U.S.-China trade talks is what's moving the market today up nicely. Stocks march broadly higher in afternoon trading on Wall Street Thursday, adding to the market's solid gains from a day earlier. So you noticed on our market timing graph, we did move up for a second day, nicely higher, but still within the range of that level of resistance, keeping us in a channel. Technology companies accounted for the big slice of gains. Microsoft rose 1.9%, Apple added 1.6%, financial and communication services stocks also were big winners. JP Morgan climbed 2.5%, and Facebook climbed 2.1%. So a lot of big stocks that are moving the markets overall today. Bond prices fell, sending the yield up to 1.52 from 1.47 late Wednesday. The 2-year Treasury rose 1.52 from 1.49. The yield for the 10-year Treasury has been dipping below that of the 2-year this week. What does that mean? That's the yield inversion curve, that people have less faith in longer term notes than they do for shorter term bills. And that shows that the market or the economy is a little bit more fearful, putting more faith in the shorter term than the longer term. The inversion curve, it is said to be the precursor for a recession, but even when that flag raises, it takes about a year or two before a recession actually happens. Now, talking about a recession, globally, more and more economies are approaching the levels or are at the levels right now of a recession, but as of the big power countries such as the United States, we still host one of the best economies globally. But even with that, we can't stave off a global recession. All right, so we're still looking strong, we're still looking good, and even if we do lower rates again to spur the economy, we can't do it alone. Just because we may have a good economy doesn't mean that we will not get caught up in the quagmire of a global recession. Everybody is in everybody else's pocket. This is a global economy, and keeping all of that in mind, folks, these are the things that are moving the market. And this is a very news-driven market by way of what's going on between the U.S. and China. The market is on track to end the week with a gain after having declined for the past 4 weeks in a row. The major indexes are still down more than 2% as the month draws to a close. If those losses hold, August would be the second monthly drop for the market this year after May. So these are other signs that the market, or the not the economy, but that the market is slowing down just a little bit. All right, the S&P was up 1.4% as of 12/38. The Dow Jones Industrial climbed 359, or 1.4%. The NASDAQ gained 1.6. This is all what's going on today, but a lot of it is still stemming off of the news, whether or not China and the U.S. will come to terms in regards to the tariffs. All right, let's move on to a stock that's moving now, and this is a stock that a lot of people are trading. If you are trading APPS, type a yes in the room. If you are trading, whether it is stocks or bonds, stocks or options, let me know if you're trading APPS. This is a hot stock. And the story says how Digital Turbine is changing the mobile app advertising game. Digital Turbine has developed a unique way for mobile app developers to market their apps directly to end users, to end customers. All right? Operating income has exploded, and so has the stock. The opportunity remains massive for Digital Turbine and shareholders, despite the stock already taking off. So APPS, who's trading it? Joff is trading it. Rhode Island, that is a stock that you truly need to look at. As a matter of fact, Rhode Island, check to see if there's options on the stock. Check to see if there's options on the stock. Digital Turbines is changing the way mobile app developers market their apps. In a world with 1 million apps, and actually my phone has about 1 million apps, it has become difficult for developers to gain the awareness they once could with a marketing campaign. Furthermore, as more apps are developed and marketed, end users become numb to the simple banner advertisements. Digital Turbine software is a new, more effective approach to advertising mobile apps. The software allows developers to install their apps directly when the end user activates a new phone. How cool is that? When the end user activates a new phone, these apps can automatically be installed onto the phone. This gives apps immediate exposure with no friction of install to the end user. Rhode Island, I'm telling you, from Trending Thursday, this is a stock that you want to talk to your people about, my friend. All right, we're going to take a little deeper look at it in a minute, but that is a stock that really is a hot moving stock, and based on the news, it seems like it's got no cap to its upside potential. This gives apps immediate exposure with no friction of install to the end user. They also developed the software to install free apps from a single tap without going through App Store. How cool is that? Apps is a Midas touch stock. You know why, Deacon? Because it is rocking. It is rocking. You want to see the graph of it? Look at the graph. That's since September of 2018. And the thing is, it is not something that has a ceiling that's capped yet. According to the story, the mobile app advertising industry will soon be well over $50 billion industry. Apps out of it about 1 to 20 today. Wow. All right, Digital Turbine is positioned well to capitalize on this, but the stock price has rallied from under $250 to over $7. The question is it too late? Astonishing growth. Look at this. Apps revenue, gross profit Operating income, man, oh man, rocking. Operating income, valuation, the company is clearly executing and making strides in a big market relative to the company's current size. So other stocks that are in this TTD, is that TNAV, TLRA? Look at this. Look at the market cap. Not that big compared to others of this, but man, Trade Desk, Telenav, Talaria, man, oh man, this is not a bad looking stock. So keep that in mind. Let's move over to the next stock. So apps is a stock that you want to keep your eye on, and that's why it's in Trending Thursday. Bristol-Myers. In January 2019, Bristol-Myers Squibb announced that it will acquire Celgene. Look at that. And the acquisition will be closed by the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. With important products like, this is a drug stock, all right, and being picked up by Bristol-Myers, which has been around a long time, but, you know, accumulating a new company that's been around for a while as well, with important products like Revlimid, Eliquis, Zero, other stocks like that have rich pipeline. These are drugs that are in the pipeline that should contribute to growth. Steve says, I waited too long to get into apps. The stock is up, but I'm losing money. Hold on. We're going to talk about that, Steve. I got you, man. I got you. Bristol-Myers Squibb appears to be extremely undervalued, but analysts seem to be cautious if it could be a good long-term investment. All right, so that's what's going on with Bristol-Myers along with Celgene. This buyout should be done by the end of the year or going into the beginning of next year. AT&T, big money is flowing in. Institutional investors were bullish on AT&T during the last 13F reporting cycle. 23 out of its 30 largest holders increasing exposure to the telecom giant. So 30 of the biggest holders of AT&T, 23 of them are growing their exposure to it. That may not be a bad looking trade either. The company's efforts to upgrade its wireless service stand to bring along subscriber growth, low churn, and revenue growth in its mobility division. Think about that. AT&T is touting that they will be the first ones to have 5G available to their customers. And I think that right now they do have 5G available, but what I've been hearing in the background that it's not great yet, but that guess what? They got plenty of time to make it right prior to a lot of other telecom companies not even having their 5G out to their customers as of yet. All right, AT&T shareholders have had a stellar run so far. The stock is up by about 30% from its December lows. Hey, Rhode Island, are you doing anything with AT&T? See, Rhode Island, I'm helping you out, bro. How about that? I'm helping you out. Are you in AT&T? That's another stock for you to look into, all right? Let's go to the next stock, which is Boeing. Everybody knows what's going on with Boeing. That sounded like everybody loves Raymond or hates Chris or something like that. Boeing is making a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. That's right, Rhode Island. I got you before you even said that. But it's making a comeback after all of the woes that it's had with the 737 MAX. All right, the plane is still grounded, but they have anticipations of being able to bump up or ramp up production on the 737 MAX by the fourth quarter of this year. But the air people, who are they? The FAA, yeah, all you need to know is it's the air people. The air people have to okay it. The air people have to say that it's okay for that stock or for them to, that the plane meets the safety standards for the plane to resume production. All right, Boeing is clear and ready for takeoff. Is that what it says? The plane maker is coming off its best week since January. The only positive Dow stock during Friday's session, this was last week, it managed to hold up against the U.S.-China trade sell-off, bucking its trend as a stock sensitive to escalating tensions. All right, you're talking about some of the worst being in the rear view mirror. See that? In the rear view mirror, and this is a resilient stock. Keep an understanding that Boeing is a company that's been around for a long time. It's got a lot of money. And even with all of the lawsuits that are going on with the plane crashes and people suing the company, they got a lot of money in the pipeline to be able to take care of whatever they need to take care of legally and still build these planes and update the software to make sure that it's good to go. Steve says, breaking, the Federal Aviation Administration changes its name to the Air People. Thank you, Steve. That's right. It is the Air People. And Rhode Island put some of the stocks that he is currently long in, especially from an option standpoint. He does a lot of options, and I would definitely listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. Not all of these stocks are in my Trending Thursday, but AMD is, as a matter of fact. AMD is, so we'll get to that in a second. Boeing told its suppliers it will resume production of its 737 jets in February. All right, depending upon regulators approving the 737 MAX to fly again. That's the Air People. So the Air People do have to approve it to fly. The plane manufacturer has been struggling this year after the MAX fleet was grounded following 2 fatal crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia. But Boeing shares climbed nearly 8% last week. You know what I think that is? I think that a lot of people know that it's a good, still solid company that's just fallen on bad times right now. But that maybe enough is enough and that this is a great buying opportunity to buy an expensive stock at a lower price. Does that make sense? And I know that Boeing has got options on it, and that's another one, Rhode Island, to take a look at is Boeing. It's a little bit more of an expensive stock, but if it's on a rebound, those options may pay off. Those options may be paying off on a stock like Boeing, so just keep that in mind. All right, so that's Boeing. Another big story, Philip Morris. How about Philip Morris and Altria confirmed they are in talks to reunite? Philip Morris International and Altria are in talks about a possible all-stock merger of equals. All right, Altria, MO, and Philip Morris coming back together. Altria spun off Philip Morris in 2008. A deal would bring the two tobacco companies back together. Interesting. All right, another couple of stocks to keep in touch with, but if they merge, they will become one company again, and it will most likely, if Altria spun off Philip Morris, then maybe it goes all the way back to being Altria again. Altria recently made investments in Juul. Did you hear the story about Juul, in that there was a bunch of fake Juul devices out there? I recently heard that story. I did not see it as a trending story, but I did hear about that there was some fake Juul devices out there. All right, so but they recently made investments in Juul and Kronos, diversifying its reach beyond just cigarettes. So the vaping market is growing tremendously. Unfortunately, I think it's growing to the wrong people. I'm hearing that a lot of middle school children are vaping now. So I know that they have rules about targeting young people in regards to these vaping devices, and we'll see. But it seems like a lot of middle-aged, middle school kids are getting into the vaping because, well, at least they're not smoking. But I don't think that we know the full effects of vaping just thus far. There you go. Rhode Island's been selling put spreads in BA for a while. Think about it now. If it's starting to run up now, Rhode Island, just keep in mind that those put spreads may not be what you want. All right, so just keep that in mind, especially if it's starting. And that's why we have Trending Thursday. This may be a good opportunity to take some of those off or start taking your profits on some of those. All right, and this is a backup story to Philip Morris. Steve says when marijuana is legalized federally, MO will surely be on the forefront. Well, if MO takes up Philip Morris, you're right. You're absolutely right. So we'll see. But the key statement to that is when, or is it when or if? When or if? Good question there, Steve. Deacon says Juul CEO was on CNBC today claiming they don't target kids. Yeah, they're targeting where the money is, and kids, kids are not able to buy cigarettes. You have to, be a certain age. And I think that they're making it now, even if you're going to get a vaping device, you still have to be a certain age. But it is what it is. And I hear you, Deacon. I'm laughing at that too. Philip Morris stock and Altria drop after merger talks are confirmed. A deal still makes sense. And this is an opinion piece. Rumors of Altria and Philip Morris combination are no longer rumors. They confirmed Tuesday the two companies are in merger talks. Altria also followed suit. So there you go. The news sent the Philip Morris stock down 6.5% though, while Altria, which had been on pace for its largest percent increase since 2008, also fell 2.5%. The Dow Industrial Average is falling, blah, 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 blah. That was as of August 27th, though. All right. Another gaming stock, all right, Activision. How many of you, well, I don't know how many of you ever played World of Warcraft. I played it. I played it for about 2 years, loved it. It was like a full-time job trying to play that role-playing game, but it was a great game. I moved up a character the whole 9 yards. But look at that. They went back to the classic launch, which set it all off that people loved, and I was one of them. Activision has launched a World of Warcraft Classic, a throwback to the venerable game's origins on its 15th anniversary. So it looks like WoW came out when I first came aboard with VectorVest, because I've been here for 15 years. But that was such a fun game. The game is a recreation of its pre-expansion mode at its most feature complete as of the 2006 Drum of War update. The game has since gone through 7 expansions. All right, it's now among the top channels on Twitch. Did you know that?
Oh, right now, yeah.
Look at that. On this channel here, it's one of the top channels on Twitch. What's the one that we were looking at that was the top channel? Apex. Apex Legends was the top channel for a long time, and now it's pulled back a little bit. But now it's up 6% to $51.63 and touched their highest point since the end of November. Badger says AstraZeneca, that thing, phase 3, I'm glad you can read it, meets primary endpoint in systemic lupus. That too. Is this a mover for the stock price? I'm going to write that down because I just want to know this symbol, ASN. Yeah, I'm not trying to read all that other stuff. I can't read all that other stuff. There's too big of words. Joey, can you read that stuff? You know what it says?
I try to sound it out.
You tried to sound, use your words, Joey.
I try to sound it out.
Use your letters. You can do it, Joey. I thought it was all the kids were playing Fortnite. Who was playing? Who's the dude that left? Ninja was playing Fortnite big time. That's all he played. He didn't play Apex Legend. He played Fortnite, and when he went over to the Microsoft platform, I'm sure he took, Mixer. Steve, I'm sure he took a lot of those Fortniters with him. All those people that were playing Fortnite. But now, guess what? A lot of those channels are going to fall back now. Why? Because kids are back in school.
Fortnite's third right now.
Fortnite is third right now? I wonder if the kids are at school playing the game. Let me see, Joey is showing it to me. Fortnite is number 3, but World of Warcraft is number 1, and Apex Legends is down the list somewhere. Unplug that for a second. Just so that you can see. This is what's going on in the world of Twitch and where the games stand. You guys should already see that when you log in, but look at that. World of Warcraft. Oh, it's not an iPad, sorry. World of Warcraft, where'd it go? There it is. World of Warcraft is at the top of the list. And look at that, Fortnite is number 3. Fortnite is number 3, there you go. All right, so thank you, Joey. All right, hey Kirby, sorry I'm late, but your number 1 fan could not miss your last Twitch show. Thank you, Kirby, I appreciate that. Badger says, this will keep Glenn and Joey alert while playing WoW. Discount coffee at Cafe Booth. Wow. Look at that. Badger's helping you out, Kirby. Badger's helping you out. Look at that. Look at that. A discount coffee. That's Kirby. Kirby does that. And Badger's helping Kirby out. Look at that. 52.58. Look at that. And Cafe Bustelo, my Duke cup. Cafe Bustelo is the unofficial, official coffee of the Jockey Club, and now the unofficial official coffee of Twitch, which will now be the unofficial official coffee of VectorVest YouTube. There you go. All right, so man, oh man, Joey keeps me on top of everything that's going on. Rhode Island says, hi, Kirby. Deacon says, what's up, Kirby? See, look at that, Kirby. You're almost as popular as I am in this room. And this is our room. Man, way to go, Kirby. Kirby is a likable guy. That's why. Kirby is a likable guy. What did Steve say? Oh, good job, Joey. Oh, what did you do? Oh.
I'll take it though.
And Kirby has also put it in, no, price is only $34.99 before the coupon. Use the VectorVest for 25% off of that price. Wow! Man, so Cafe Bustelo is a great coffee, folks. It is. I drink it. I love it. Kirby sells it. There you go. If you're interested, take it. And then Rhode Island put in a link to his trading room for options. There's that link. By all means, if you want to learn more about options, Rhode Island does an excellent job in his room when it comes down to options. We do as well. And I want to tell you, if you're interested in options, we do offer an options course, a basic options course. Before you go over to Rhode Island's room, I think that if you don't know much about options, you want to consider taking our Jump Starter course. All right, take the course. You want to learn about options, take the course. That way, when you do go to Rhode Island's room, you have a basic understanding of a lot of the things that he does. All right, so just keep that in mind. But you need to have it at least $59 free shipping at Discount Coffee. That's why I priced 2 cases. Man, look at that. Man, they doing business up in my room. Look at them doing all this business in my room. That's all right. I love you all to death. All right, let's go to the next stock. CostCo. That makes sense to get free shipping. CostCo stock is rising after lines in China was so long it had to close early. So let's talk about the backstory. Costco is up more than 39% year to date, more than double the S&P, roughly 15% gain. Rhode Island, you know anything about Costco? All right, while no retailer may be truly immune to the impact of the trade war, Costco is often viewed as one of the most insulated players. Why? Because everybody needs to buy stuff. All right, everyone needs to buy stuff. And Rhode Island says he sure does know about that. Costco, The stock has also benefited from strong sales, a generous and potentially rising dividend payout. How many of you in here are longer-term investors? How cool would this stock, ticker symbol COST, be in your longer-term retirement portfolio? Store security, good earnings. It's not surprising that Costco remains an analyst's favorite, even though some worry about its valuation. So what's new? On Tuesday, Costco opened its first store in mainland China, in Shanghai, but it was forced to close the location early following large traffic jam causing crowds. Good Gordon Gin. So what does that mean? Costco is going to have to build more locations in mainland China, aren't they? What is that going to do? It's going to boost their sales. They're going to put more buildings out there. They're going to have to hire more people. Everything looks good for Costco. I hear Kirby uses Dyson vacuum cleaner. What does that got to do with the price of tea in China? I'm talking about China. We're in China. You get it?
Kirby's a brand of vacuums. Dyson.
Oh, is that what it, Kirby? Oh, Kirby, Dyson. I get it. Okay. I didn't get it. I'm a little slow. Anyway, state media reported the closure while videos on social media showed swells of shopper in the store and signs warning of 3-hour delays just to park. Man, what does that say about China? Do they not have stores like Costco? Evidently, that tells me they don't. Right, Joey? This makes sense. That they don't have stores like, so it's a new concept to them, looking at the stores with big volumes of things, the big box store. That big box concept is new to China. It's been introduced to China, and boy, could that be good for Costco. But now, what does that mean for like BJ's? Do you think they'll go over to China? What do you think about Sam's Club? Will they go over to China? Think about it. If Costco is starting out this well, how about the other box stores eyeing this going, oh man, we need to jump on this quick too. So that could affect the other box stores if they also open up in China. Think about that. Think about that. This is why we have Trending Thursday. All right, next one, Johnson & Johnson. You know, there was a court ruling that came down from them. BJ's been running up as well. That makes sense. The Chinese love America. Amen to that. Just that their president or premier or whoever he's called, he may not like us so much. Johnson & Johnson ruling is seen as a relief, but one analyst deems it very bearish. All right, the morning after, Oklahoma judge ruled that Johnson & Johnson's marketing and promotion of opioids had contributed to the state's opioid crisis and ordered the company to pay $572 million. The consensus among the Wall Street analysts was that it could have been worse, and it could have been. But Johnson & Johnson, another big, well-known company, just like Boeing is, and you know, when the company has been established for a while, it has developed a good base, a good earnings base, a good growing valuation. When these things happen, they're able to weather the storm. You remember when the Xbox first came out? All right, and Microsoft had an issue with them. But Microsoft was able to overcome that. Why? Because they're a solid company that's been around for a while, and they had a lot of money in the pipeline. So back in the day, there was a drug that, Vioxx, and who was the parent company of Vioxx? Do you remember? It wasn't Bristol-Myers, does anybody remember who the parent company of Vioxx was? There was a lot of suits about the Vioxx as well. I forget the name of the company, but it's been an established company. Joey's looking it up for me. He's my fact checker. Merck, there it is. Merck was it, and Merck was able to overcome that bump in the road as well. So all of these established companies that go through Merck and Microsoft and Boeing and now Johnson & Johnson, they're able, thank you Rhode Island, they're able to overcome these things because they are solid companies. So while the ruling was a loss for Johnson & Johnson, investors had expected the defeat, and the size of the fine was far less than many had expected. All right, so that was a bonus for Johnson & Johnson to continue doing business as they need to. You know, my favorite stock in the world, Apple. Apple is bouncing back as China, and its China problem may not be as bad as investors feared. Remember, the president and Tim Apple, that was a gaffe on the president's part, so I'm having fun with it. Had to talk about the tariffs in China, the tariffs on China were going to affect Apple. And now the story says that may not be as bad as investors feared. Apple stock was helping lead the market rebound. This was on Monday, as Apple remains the poster child for how the quickly shifting winds in the U.S.-China trade war are moving the markets. Apple shares swooned more than 4% on Friday, losing $45 per billion in market cap value. That's a lot of money, but they are still one of the top 3 market cap companies in the market. All right, President Donald Trump responded with tariff hikes of his own and a bellicose threat ordering American companies to leave China. That was something else that happened. The president was telling people, because we told people last week at the G7 summit that we don't need China. And man, did that set off a poo-poo storm last week. Good, Gordon Gin, big time. Johnson & Johnson probably still got opioid exposure. They probably do, Joff. It'll be a lot to try to get that out of the picture. It's going to take a long while to do that. And Joff says performance graphs show Shop outrunning cost while Walmart just sort of lagging. So I'm going to take a look at Shop for you, and I'm going to take a look at Walmart for you. All right, we got about 15 minutes. So let's keep on moving. Johnson & Johnson thought they were going to have to pay billions. They did get off cheap, Deacon. They did get off cheap. All right, so that's a little bit about what's going on with Apple. AMD captures 23% of the cell phone market in one deal. They got a deal with AMD with Samsung. NVIDIA is sued and AMD settles a lawsuit. Our play is on AMD. It ran out of steam recently as the stock had run out of short-term catalysts. With the massive run-up and post-earnings slump, little was left to keep the stock rising the day after day. Yet after the recent trade war-related decline, it's now time to buy AMD. So I know that Providence is, or Rhode Island is, taking advantage of AMD. AMD has a chip coming out that is the NVIDIA killer, says Rhode Island. You hear that? The NVIDIA killer. Huh. Wu-Tang Clan. Huh. All right, anyway. I do not think most investors realize the extent of the AMD Samsung deal. Samsung is not playing around. Rather, they are going all in with AMD on the phone front to the tune of AMD earning $100 million in revenue for 2019 per the Q2 earnings call. Wow, that's huge. All right, so AMD, Samsung getting together, and they're gonna make some noise in the phone market. On the Samsung side, it's a multi-year, multi-generational deal that we have across our graphics portfolio for mobile. In terms of 2019, the revenue is approximately $100 million that will be added. That is not originally in our guidance and has offset some of the headwinds that we talked about in our semi-custom and in China. As it is not pure IP though, so the way you should think about it is there's some specific development expenses that are part of the deal. And so those will be part of the COGS portion of that. I don't know what that is. All right. Last but not least, this is Joey's story. I wonder why you talk about marijuana stocks, Joey.
And I put in more than just that one.
No, that's the only one you put in was marijuana stocks. Tilray muted as cannabis producer buys more pot shops. So Tilray is going to be on the rise. More pot shops, so more people could. You know, when I was in, where was I just at? Colorado. I didn't go. I saw a lot of the pot shops all over the place. Everywhere you drove, they were in these little segments of stores. A lot of really, you know, CBD and just marijuana stores everywhere. So Tilray is buying up more pot shops, which means they'll have more exposure to people to sell recreational marijuana. And there you go. So Tilray may be a company to take a look at. So I've taken all of these companies. And put a watch list together. Let's go do that real quick. There's my viewers tab. Trending Thursday, 8/29/2019. We talked about apps and CostCo and Boeing and Celgene, AMD, Bristol-Myers Squibb, Apple, Activision, AT&T, Johnson & Johnson, Altria, Philip Morris, and Tilray. So those are the companies. We covered 13 companies today. How about that? We covered 13 companies that are in Trending Thursday. The stock that's got the best combination of value, safety, and timing is Digital Turbines at the top. And the stock that's got the worst VST is Tilray at the bottom, followed by Altria and Philip Morris, that merger. Both of those stocks have a VST less than 1, but Altria does have a safety and a relative value above 1. That is the more prudent of all three of these stocks at the bottom, because RV is above 1, RS is above 1. All three stocks, though, are sell recommended stocks. Now, Providence is talking about AMD. Let's compare it real quick. Price is higher than its value. The stock is overvalued. That doesn't make it a bad stock. It just means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock, but it's got good upside potential by way of RV. Relative value is one of our core proprietary indicators, which is cast on a scale between 0 and 2. Relative value looks at the stock's long-term price appreciation potential, its upside potential, as compared to an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. This stock should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 32% over the next 1 to 3 years. Long term, would I like to own this stock or that corporate bond? I'd rather hold this stock. Stock safety is above 1, so the stock has got a higher propensity to meet or exceed its earnings expectation quarter over quarter, year over year. I also like that they are growing their earnings at a clip of 31% a year. All right, Kung Fu Benny, gotta go. Have a great day, Kung Fu Benny. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Remember, we are moving to YouTube next week, so we still will be doing Trending Thursday, but it will just be on YouTube. Hopefully you will follow us. Wow, thank you, Rhode Island, for the bits. Got 100 bits. Way to go. High five, Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Rhode Island. I appreciate that. All right. Well, we're talking about apps. So who was the one that asked me if it was too late to be in apps? Who asked me if it was too late to be in apps? Let's analyze that. The stock is definitely over its value, but look at that. One of the highest stocks by way of upside potential. It's one of the top 3. The only other one, and Boeing is up there too. All right, one of the top 3. I do know that the safety is not there, so when earnings comes out, it was Steve. There you go, Steve. The earnings picture may not, I probably don't know if I would hold it through earnings or not, but the stock's relative timing, the short-term price trend of the stock is definitely moving up nicely. It is the fastest moving stock in this list of stocks, Steve. So I'm gonna do this for you. All right, let's go look at all of these stocks in a graph. Let's do it real quick. View the stock graph. All right, let's go look at these. Apps, is it too late to get into it? No. And I'm gonna show you something as well, Steve. Earnings is 11.5. Be careful on it when it comes out to earnings on that other stock that we looked at. But look at apps. Steve, I'm gonna help you out. I'm going to take off the 3 and the 8, and from a longer term perspective, like if I'm trying to stay in the stock a little longer, I'm gonna put on the 20. Steve, look at that 20 and how well it works during the stock's price move up. I'm going to tell you that you're okay. Does that make sense to you, Steve? Long term, this stock is going gangbusters. The 20-day exponential moving average is doing a good job keeping you in the stock. So I want to tell you, hang in there, buddy. You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. Are you okay with that? It's a hot stock. It's a trending stock on Trending Thursday, as we explain why it is. But look at that 20-day exponential moving average on that stock. That is good. Rhode Island, are you in it? All right. From an options perspective, this may not be a bad trade for you guys. Look at this equity curve. Look at the RT, nicely still high. A little jagged, but still been above the value of 1 all of this time. This is something that you guys probably want to take a look at, Rhode Island. All right, I'm not going to ever lead you wrong, but this is what Trending Thursday is all about. This is what Trending Thursday is all about. Let's go to the next stock, CostCo. CostCo is jumping up. Look at that because of the opening in mainland China. Big jump up. I think it's got, look at that run up in RT. Man, oh man. Nicely above the 20 as well. Bouncing off a level of support way long time ago and moving up. October calls are 80 cents. Look at that. On which stock? On CostCo or on apps? On which one? I know there's a delay, so you may be behind me by a few seconds. You're talking about on apps? And you know something, the 50 for 80 cents, that may not be a bad play, especially looking at what the stock looks like. Especially looking at what the stock looks like, that may not be a bad play for you, Rhode Island. You know, keep that in mind. All right, let's move to the next stock, Boeing. Boeing was in a downtrend, and how about they're now challenging that level of the downtrend from that recent level? Look at that. So Boeing could be at a level where enough is enough. People are looking at an opportunity where they can get in off of this high, $450 at one point. Now getting in at $363 is a deal. Getting in on a solid performing stock that's gotten beaten up because of the plane crashes. If it goes wrong, I'll tweet it was you who told me to buy it. Really? All right. You know something? Put Rhode Island in timeout. All right, you going into timeout. Mal Charlotte says, discount coffee takes coupon but does not provide free shipping on my order of 2. Oh, Kirby, you see that? Look at that. Look at that. Trying to get the coffee, but Kirby got to handle that. Talk to Kirby. Talk to Kirby about that. Kirby, you need to hook him up. All right, let's go to the next stock. Look at Celgene. Celgene is being bought up by Bristol-Myers, moving up. All right, moving up right now. Down day to day, look like a little dark cloud cover. Where's it stopping? Right at that level of resistance from the high. All right, but still above the 20. All right, still above the 20, you're still fine. RT just recently creeped back above the 1, but starting to pull back a little bit. Just keep your eye on that. It's still a trending stock. AMD, this is preliminarily what's going on. How about it just jumped above the 20 today? It just jumped above the 20 exponential moving average. That may not be a bad play. It's more of an aggressive play coming off of a level of support, great level of support. Breaking above the 20, this preliminarily could be, especially knowing what's going on news-wise with it, it might be a great way to go. This might be an early way to play. And in Rhode Island, look at that. I'm loving that as an opportunity to get in at a nice low price compared to what the high was over the last year. Let's put this back on a 3-month graph. There we go. All right, and I'm liking that it's getting ready to bounce back up. All right, next one. Let's go bump through these real quick. Bristol-Myers, that's between them and Celgene. Celgene we just looked at. Bristol-Myers still pulling back a little bit, but above the 20. Already still above the 20. All right, Apple just got back above the 20. The stock is range bound, though, between this level of support and this level of resistance. And look at that, just getting back above the 20. RT still above 1. Even though it pulled back, RT still remained above 1, even as the stock started pulling back a little bit. That indicator is smart. Activision, a little bit of a pullback day today, but with the release of its new Classic, nice run up, pull back. Let's see if it continue moving higher. RT is above 1. AT&T, look at that graph. Look at that graph. All right, and AT&T is still rocking and rolling, still moving above the 20, even on the pullback, the 20-day exponential moving average. As far as the swing trade is concerned, the stock has been good to go. All right, next one, Johnson & Johnson, with a lot of the time being in the suit for opioids, it took the effect, felt the effect. Now coming off of this level of support at 126.73, this could be the point where it starts going up now. That's a little bit of a hammer formation. Look at that level. Look where the wicks stop on these 2 days, pretty much in this zone. Pretty much in the zone of 126.73. I'd like to really see Johnson & Johnson, if it's going to really make a move, go above the 20-day exponential. Once it does, it's got a lot of upside from that point. Does have a lot of upside from that point. Woo! Look at that, MO, talking about the merger between Altria and Philip Morris. Man, is it feeling the hurt. That's some hurt. So Altria, as a company, could be picking up Philip Morris because look at that. Good Gordon Jim, look at that stock. That make you want to jump back and kiss yourself. Hi! All right, but anyway, definitely moving down. Big down day on it today. We offer free shipping, 59, blah, blah, 69, so you will get free shipping. Okay, he's trying to help you out, Mal. I just want to make sure. So that's what's going on. And Philip Morris both feeling the same effects. But Philip Morris looks more of a more solid, not solid, but more stable to at least moving sideways compared to Altria. All right. In the last stock, Tilray. Weed stock, very volatile. Opening up more pot shops, probably won't start really feeling the effects until they start seeing sales grow. We are moving over our Trending Thursdays to YouTube. All right, still a free platform for you to come see them. We hope that everyone who's here on Twitch will move over to YouTube. Please do. I thank you so much for everybody, for all of the support that we've had, for all of the fun that we've had, and for all of the discussions that we have. Hopefully, this Twitch channel leaves you with this sense of being better informed on the market, better understanding of the market, especially if you're brand new to the market. And for those people who are veterans in the market, hopefully you actually got to see more of the benefit of using the VectorVest software and being able to grow your portfolio. Thank you for supporting us, folks. Thank you for supporting us. Continue to support us on YouTube. We will make our inaugural presentation next Thursday on YouTube for Trending Thursdays. So with that, folks, my last time signing out on Twitch. It's been a great run for a little less than a year. And again, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha, and goodbye. See ya. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.